What's up, guys? I have two watches going out to the same guy, so I figured I might as well just record them together. So we got a couple. Now, he's waited on this one for a very long time because the first time I got the dial, the areas that we wanted lasered out were not lasered out, they were just recessed. So we've got a custom pilot dial that we have all the accents lasered out now. The tick marks all the way around, those are were lasered out and then paint filled, and then we sanded it and then backside lumed it. So get into that dial a little bit here in a sec, but we've got a brushed case, brushed engineered band, custom engraved crown, just a brushed clasp. Got a low profile exhibition case back, stainless steel movement holder, and then one of my logos on a silver rotor. Just a very, very, very clean watch. And then we have a knurled bezel with a black lumed ceramic insert. So how the watch looks might take a sec. Plus we've got the sun right outside to our right, so we'll see how much this shows off. It should be charged up decently. Actually, you don't get to see the blue. There, you can see the blue. So black PloProf handset on there. You can see the black accents going all the way around a little bit better. You can see the backside looming on the dial. And then you can see the loom to the bezel insert. So that is that build. Bezel on this will turn left, it'll turn right. It is held in with a tension ring. Automatic mechanical, so you can wind it, you can wear it, you can put it in a watch winder. But if it's dead or you're not very active, make sure you wind it just a little bit so you can keep time throughout the day. And how you do that is you back the crown off the threads until you can hear it and feel it clicking. At that point, you can wind it, and a wind is a turn that way. Turning it towards you doesn't do anything, but it's a lot easier to keep your finger spacing and just go back and forth. So if you do this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, that mixed with the rotor movement throughout the day should keep you going. If you do it for something closer to 15 seconds, you're going to max out that 31 plus hour power reserve on it. You cannot overwind it, so don't worry about that. When you're happy with your winding, pull it to the one and only click. You can now set your time. It does not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. You'll also notice you got a wobble crown that deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement. So if you're pushing and prying on it, you're not bending or putting any adverse pressure anywhere. Okay, Google, what time is it?
12:41 p.m.
12:41. When you're good, push it, get it out of that time setting, and then wind it down. That is build number 1. That's going to come with these beads. And we also want to do a black on black leather band. So if you pop either one of these off, pretty simple. You're just going to push down, take your spring bar off. So these are quick disconnects. Now it won't be that as simple with your leather because you're going to have to use a pry tool and get in there, you know. And this is a lot easier to do not looking through a screen because I can't see anything. All right, we'll look around. There we go. So that's going to be the same on both watches, so you can just pop those off. Don't lose those, because when you compress them, if you let go, they'll shoot off because they are springs. But so there's this one. Now this is held on. This is held together with push pins. So all you're going to do is find your recessed area and tap these out. Feed them back in the same way. When you hammer them down in, they'll only go flat to here, giving you that pocket area for your tool. So these will be on this side, and you force out. These ones are on this side, and you force out. So whenever you're sizing your watch, that's how you do that. Same's going to be on this one, but it's going to be a little bit tougher when you get to that one because overlapping these to get these straight to feed it back in is pretty easy. You're just going to get these two lined up with that one in the middle. So you're going to feed it in there. This has a few more on there, so it'll take you a little bit longer to do that, but it's the same premise on that one. So that is this build. So leather go with either one of them, and that is that build, and that one's going to come in a dial matching custom box. Now the other one, we took a vintage USSR dial, as referenced here at the bottom, your CCCP, and preserved it. So we've got ourselves a dial that's, what, at least 30 years old. So it'd be pre, 91? We did a black cerakoted case, coin bezel, this 7 bead SS band, crown also engraved the same as the other. And then I did a black solid caseback. Now you're going to have two options here. Since I had a Boctok one that matched the dial, I went with that and just blacked it out. But I went ahead and also made you one that's been perfectly, we milled it down and then black cerakoted. So if you ever wanted to replace that for whatever reason, you would just loosen up this ring that holds this down, pop this off, put the new one on there, and then do it by hand until it gets tight, and then use your tool and tighten it back down. So you'll have that in there as well. So clasp done the same way. And then inside here you also have a stainless steel movement holder. You have an actual Boctok rotor that I have my little signature on. And it's the same setup. Automatic mechanical, you can wind it, put it in a watch winder. In the coin bezel, we have, you can see raised throughout here, a Yachtmaster style diver insert. And I like how these things kind of come looking distressed. The more I try to quote unquote clean, the more distressed they end up looking down in these pockets, which is kind of cool, and it goes with the dial nicely. So obviously the raised portions stay nice and polished and shiny, but it kind of gives a distressed look down in there, which goes with the dial. Black handset on that. Trying to think, is there anything else? This, as I referenced before, this will be the same setup. Pushing these out, but you can see how much more you're going to have to do this. So I would kind of lay it down, kind of flip one side up and kind of push it down in there and kind of wiggle it in, or just try and butt them right up whenever you are sizing it. And then since you picked up one of these, well, actually, just go to the next thing. Matching beads with this. We were able to actually find something that kind of went with your dial. So these are natural stones. You can see the pitting in them. And actually went with your dial nicely. And then I grabbed one of my white, please just focus, one of my white original Boctok slider boxes. So it just fits there and slides. Then I roughed it up a bit and hit it with a torch and made it look a little bit more distressed. And since you were picking up a vintage Boctok or Boctok, I grabbed you a couple cool vintage things for you. Here is an awarded medal back then with the booklet that went with it. You wouldn't want to call it a certificate, but actually, we can just pop it open and show you. It's a reference to the medal that was awarded. And then your paperwork on it. When it was awarded, what is that, in 88? Appears to be 88. Oh, actually, it's written right here. So yeah, 88, 88. And then the metal itself. Cool little history to throw in there with your dial. And then also, I have to go and throw in some vintage I don't know if you want to call it propaganda or whatever at the time. This is a caseback before it's milled. This is a stock bezel that would come on the watch. So some of your little extra parts there. Just a cool little bag of I don't know, badging. And then moving to the next part. As with every build, you're going to get watch cleaner. This is good on all glass and metal parts. So everything on both watches. Non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue. You're also going to get some leather conditioner for the leather strap to keep it perfectly soft. Apply it on both sides, let it soak in, remove any excess. This is to keep this leather strap perfectly soft. And then lastly, some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. If you scratch your glass because it's acrylic, just put a tiny bit of this on it and buff against it using your included microfiber. You cannot, if the scratch is going up and down, just go left and right and buff it out. It should take about 15 seconds. This is like Poly Watch, just repackaged. And if you hurt your Cerakote, it's just like vehicle paint. Bead blasted, applied, baked on. But you can scratch it, just like you'd scratch your car. If it's just a clear coat or something like that, use some gun oil, and it should, not make it as noticeable. If you've scratched down into it, to the silver, well, you've just given your watch some character. Because the only way to fix it is to bead blast the whole thing and redo it. So don't rub it on any brick walls. But, it's pretty durable. But those are your builds, sir. I appreciate you a ton. Thank you so much for requesting a second watch. And I hope you love them both. If you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.